Are you having a difficult time in your marketing strategy, or you just don't know where to start with your marketing strategy at all? There's just so many metrics, there's so many content platforms, there's so many types of content, there's so many different things you're supposed to be doing, and it's hard to focus on one, it's hard to gain traction, it's hard to even start with the marketing plan. In today's video, we're gonna talk about what I like to call the pick one method. It's a proven method that I've used to help increase my marketing strategies and increase the performance of my marketing campaigns. So let's get into the video. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. It's great to have you here. In today's video, I'm going to go over a marketing strategy that I've been using to help increase my marketing strategies performance and also help me get hyper focused on making sure that the content I'm producing is effective with the customer. Because really in marketing, the one goal is to connect your company with the end customer. Now, sometimes that's via brand recognition, or sometimes it's based on a metric for sales or leads or views on a post. But in essence, you're trying to get from you, which is the seller, to the buyer. So I've been working in B2B manufacturing for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've really used this strategy to kind of focus on how do I actually track and how do I effectively find out if what I'm doing is effective. So, like I said, this is the pick one method. You can use this for B2B, you can use this for B2C, you can use this for direct to customer, you can use this for SaaS products, you can use this for anything you want. This is a framework. This is a marketing framework that will help you increase your effectiveness of your marketing strategy. All right, so what is the pick one method? The pick one method is this. You pick one type of content, you pick one channel that you're going to post that content on. You're going to pick one persona, you're going to pick one metric you're going to track, and then you're going to pick one service, product, solution that you're going after. So let's say, for instance, you sell a product, you sell a variety of products. Well, pick one product and then focus on marketing that one product. Let's say you sell a SaaS service. All right, pick the SaaS, but pick a solution the problem that SaaS solves, and then use that to create content based on that SaaS. Or pick a particular feature of that product, that SaaS, to market. Okay, so that's the overall. If that's all you want to know about the pick one method, then go ahead, use it. I'm going to go through some of the individual specifications and maybe the specific categories and where you can post on, what type of things you should be posting in this video. So without further ado, let's get into that. The first thing I think you should do when asking yourself if you're going to use this pick one method is you should definitely ask yourself, if I could change one thing about the marketing that I currently do, what would that be and why? See, sometimes we start a marketing strategy and we just say, okay, we need to be posting this, 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 we need to be posting this, 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 but we don't often ask ourselves, what's the end goal? So we need to ask ourselves, what is the end goal? What city am I trying to travel to? So what does that city of success look for you? So it might be kind of, I want to get more impressions on a post. I want to grow our reach. I want to grow our brand recognition in the market. Okay, well, once you have what that success looks like, use that picture of success to now design the pick one method off of. So once you have found out what your success is and what success you're going after, now go into the pick one method. Pick what type of content you're going to produce to get that success. So you can do written, you can do video, short form video, short form written. You can do a podcast. There's so many different types of content to produce. You can do pictures, animations, drawings, illustrations, cheat sheets, books, webinars. There's so many types of content to produce. In a few videos, I'm going to show you every single type of content that you can produce and why you would produce it. But what I want you to keep in mind is your audience. So we haven't talked about the persona yet, but you need to figure out what your audience will will look at the most, what they're most interested in. So for instance, if you're selling to maybe a younger community, maybe TikTok is better. If you're selling to a B2B, maybe an older age individual in your persona, maybe video and maybe some long form written content. If you're selling to CEOs, they might not have enough as much time, so maybe shorter form content. Case studies are always a good thing. White papers are always a good thing. The key is you need to think about is pick one type of content and then create content in that format. A lot of times when you do this, you need to think of one thing, which is evergreenness of your content. So if you're producing video, make sure that you are putting your video on, let's say you're going after video on LinkedIn. Well, pick LinkedIn, but I would also post it on YouTube, just so you have the SEO coming in from YouTube, right? So pick one type of content. The next thing is pick a channel, right? Pick a channel you're going to distribute this content on. There's so many different types there's LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, blog, your website, Pinterest, Facebook, so many different types of channels. You might say, well, is Pinterest one? Absolutely. Pinterest is a huge one, especially if you're in the remodeling space. You could get millions of views on your Pinterest and people will call you and be like, hey, we love what you did. Can you do that for us? Absolutely. So one thing you need to think about when you're posting on these individual platforms is don't just do a mass post. Let's say you're creating a long form written content. That's not going to really do well on Pinterest. It's just not really what Pinterest is geared toward. Let's say you're doing written form again. Not really great for YouTube. Not the best, unless you're going to speak that long form written content. So be contextual about the platform that you're posting on. Remember that. Be contextual about the platform that you're posting on. Also think about, how can I make this content evergreen? When you're posting on LinkedIn, when you're posting on Instagram, when you're posting on Facebook, a lot of times that content necessarily isn't evergreen. Now, LinkedIn is trying to do something where you can write an article and then that article can get some SEO, and I've seen that kind of come up in search engines. But posting something on your blog, on your website, Google really crawls that more sometimes than LinkedIn. It depends. It depends how much interaction you had on LinkedIn, but a lot of times Google favors that. So really try to be contextual, and then also think, obviously, is my persona on here that you're going after? And then look at what am I good at? You know, I should have talked about this when we talked about content, but what are you good at? What are you actually good at? Are you good at writing? Are you good at video? Are you good at speaking? Are you good at short form video? Are you funny? Are you good at drawing? Figure out what you're good at, and then figure out what platform that works best for based on the content that you're posting. If you are good at writing and your viewers or your persona really like to read writing, knock yourself out. But also think, are my viewers, are they going to engage with this specific type of content? Now, kind of the part of the pick one method is figuring out if they are, but always think about that when you're picking out what method you're going to distribute your content on. Next thing is the persona. Am I going after engineers? Am I going after CEOs? Is it a job function? Is it a function within a company? Is it maybe someone that just deals with a specific topic or a specific thing within the company? Am I going after family members? Am I going after mothers? Am I going after single people? Am I going after people that are like this other type of product? Really try to narrow down what persona you're going after. And I would recommend looking up some persona cheat sheets where you can really just fill it in. You can print them off, you can write them up, or you can even just type in your answers and create this persona document. The more specific, the better. And the reason for that is you can figure out what that person cares about. See, when you're creating content, it's important to figure out what the person that you're creating content for, what they care about. Try to get as specific as possible with that persona. Now, obviously, if it's B2B, you don't have to get as specific, but you should try to figure out what this person really cares about. That's the key there. Figure out what a person cares about and then use that to kind of model your content you're going to create off of. Also, figure out what they find is funny, because if you can make a person laugh, you can usually get a person to engage. Pick a metric you will track. Marketing has about a million different metrics to track. There's so many metrics to track, and it's sometimes infuriating hearing people talk about, oh, I'm getting good this, I'm getting good that, I'm getting good. Well, what does it mean? What does that metric really mean? So pick a metric that you're going to go after, and then use the tweaks that you make in your content and how you post it, where you post it, how you write it, to see, is that affecting the metric? Is it not? Because ultimately what you want to figure out is the content I'm producing on the platform for that persona making a difference? If it is making a difference in that final metric, then you're golden. And then how can you tweak it to even make a bigger impact on your marketing strategy? So the last thing is, we've been over all of them except for the last one. The last one is one service you will offer, right? What's one service you could offer? One product. Sometimes it's, like I said before, it could be a SaaS and you want to talk about one part of that SaaS. It could be a product and you want to talk about one specific application of that product. It could just be a product itself, or it could be a service that you offer, right? There's so many different types of things that you're trying to sell. Typically it's a service or product. So when you're thinking about this service, think about learning as much as you can about this service, because really your knowledge about the service, and what I mean by knowledge about it is how it works, why it works, what it takes to produce it. That type of knowledge can really come in handy when you're creating content, and it can really be engaging to the people that are reading your content. Also, you can create content without having to really do too much research and have to go to your engineers or go to the product champion as much as possible. You can just create content yourself. The next thing is you need to learn what your persona does with this product. This is so important. In marketing, I feel like it's just all about sales. It's just all about buy this product, do this now, buy this product, this is the best product, blah, 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 blah. There's not as much, hey, this is how it helps you. If you look on LinkedIn, there's tons of people on LinkedIn, and most of them are posting sales. They just want you to buy their product. It's all about the product. It's all about them. How would you post about what your customer does with the product and how this product helps your customer succeed? That's the goal, right? If you can make a customer feel like he'll succeed if you buy your product, then you have them locked in, because they're not buying your product because they like your product. They're buying your product because they want success. And that's how you can emotionally engage with the prospect to get them to buy your product. All right, and that's it. That's the pick one method. In this method, you're gonna pick a type of content, you're gonna pick a type of channel, you're gonna pick a persona, you're gonna pick a metric, and then you're gonna pick a service, and then you're gonna combine all these into one strategy that you're gonna create content. Yes, this is a content strategy, and then you're gonna produce content based on all the things that you picked, and then you're gonna track it. And you could do this for a year, you could do this for 6 months. I would say do it for at least 2 or 3 months, depending on what industry you're in. If you're in direct to customer, if you're in B2B, sometimes it could take longer. If you're in B2C and you already have really an established brand, then it might take you less time. But what you need to do is you need to post content, create the content, and then post it and then track it using that metric. And that metric is your guiding light. If it's increasing, if it's going, as long as it's a metric you want to increase, then you know you're going in the right direction. And then test and tweak. See, this cuts out all of the noise that's out there that says you need to track all these different KPIs. This is just focusing on one. So this is going to help you get hyper-focused and figure out what's resonating with your customer and how your content is most effective for them. So here's a bonus tip. Pick a topic. Right? You have a product, pick a topic that persona cares about that would engage that persona. So maybe a topic about cooking when you're trying to sell a cutting board. Maybe get even more specific. Talk about how to cut onions, and then just do a whole content series about cutting onions. That would be very interesting, because I'm sure there's a bunch of different ways to cut onions. But in B2B, you can do this the same way. Figure out a specific topic or a specific thing that the end user cares about, and then create content based on that topic. Right? Think about an industry that specifically uses that product, or think about a specific, think about a specific way that this helps solve a problem. Try to get as specific as possible when you're creating this content. This will help you even get more narrow and even help you get more focused and to see if this specific topic actually resonates with the customer. So once you've done the pick one method and you've found out what system or what content or what scenario really engages with your customer, now that you found that, now what you do is you run ads based on that content. And we'll get into this more later, but the goal of content should be posting it and figuring out, does this even resonate with my audience? And if it does, then what you do is you figure out, you go to that persona specifically via ads. Now you know exactly who that persona is, so you go on Facebook or you go on LinkedIn or you go on Instagram and you specifically target that persona with those ads, which already know resonates with them, so those ads should be as effective as possible, right? Exactly. So remember, what is marketing? Marketing is trying to find the most effective way to get from you and talk to your customer. And it could be an effective KPI or whatever you're tracking, but that's the goal of marketing. So don't try to get so tangled up in all of the different ways to do marketing. If you're having problem getting traction or your marketing strategy doesn't seem to be as effective, maybe take a step back, use the pick one method and see how it can impact your business. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Michael Sipes, and I really appreciate you watching this video. If you have any comments, feel free to put them down in the description. I'd love to answer your questions if I can. And also, I would just really appreciate it if you really like this video, share it. Just tell a friend about it. Or just give me a constructive criticism. I really appreciate that too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.